From Rudyard to Ruskin is a journey into the beautiful and evocative world of flora and fauna around us. And we will explore this world through books on nature. My name is Aditi, and I'm delighted to bring you these countless stories captured in verse, prose, and illustrations. The book I have chosen for this episode is called So Many Leaves, published by Pratham Books, written by academics Harini Nagendra and Seema Mundoli, and illustrated by Barkha Lohia. So Many Leaves actually has only 16 leaves or pages. But each of these pages is an eye-opener. These pages entice us to look at the natural world around us and value things that we take for granted or ignore. Much before we get our first lesson in school, trees and plants introduce us to science. The fruits, the flowers, the vegetables, things that we see and use on a daily basis, these are of course a huge part of our ecosystem. So are the humble leaves. They don't just add to the beauty around us, they also enrich our world in many ways. Seema and Harini, who also co-authored Cities and Canopies, Trees in Indian Cities in 2019, translate their love for nature into this book on leaves meant for children. And Barkha's illustrations in different shades of green and with minimal use of other colors make each leaf stand out. And that is the beauty of So Many Leaves, because presenting the common in an interesting and unique manner is quite a challenge. Now let's think of a leaf, and let's also think of what first comes to mind when we are looking at a leaf. The color, for instance. That's how we know that the green of the banana leaf is different from the green of the tulsi plant. Touch or texture is another important feature. Some leaves are leathery, some, like the prickly pear, are of course prickly. Mint or pudina leaves are hairy, just like the young leaves of the palash. Size is also an essential characteristic of a leaf, and the authors of the book have explained this too in an interesting way for children. So, a single banana leaf is large enough to be used as a plate for a hearty meal, while the leaves of the tamarind tree are smaller than our fingernails. And the giant leaf of the elephant ear colocasia plant can be 6 foot tall, and that's much more than the average height of the Indian man and woman. In terms of shape, leaves around us come in several varieties. The peepal tree has leaves that look like human hearts, ferns look like feathers, the fish-tailed palm looks like the tail of a fish, and the camel foot tree leaf looks like the hoof of a camel. Aroma is yet another way of identifying a leaf. The fragrant eucalyptus tree, for example. You may recall how the air at many hill stations carry the fragrance of the eucalyptus leaves. And the curry leaf, which adds so much flavor to our rasam, sambar, and pickles. The aroma, texture, and nutritional value of a leaf is not just important for human consumption. Birds, insects, and animals, they also choose their diet accordingly. They avoid the bitter leaves and fruits of neem for obvious reasons. Goats and cows feast on jackfruit leaves, while caterpillars like pongamia leaves. While some of these facts may be new to us, the book made me recall a lot of things that I had either forgotten or relegated to some corner of the mind. And it was great fun revisiting those facts in the shape of this book. While So Many Leaves has been written with a curious young explorer in mind, it is equally appealing to an adult who may have forgotten to take in the beauty of little things. It also drives home the message that so many forms of life are dependent on trees and plants, and that it is never too late to be thankful and appreciative of these blessings. The last leaf of So Many Leaves has a list of activities that encourage children to learn on their own. In addition to collecting and drying leaves between the pages of a book, Seema and Harini suggest putting a peepal leaf in a bucket of water to observe its network of veins. These are activities I think an adult would also enjoy. I hope you enjoyed listening to the review as much as I enjoyed presenting it. From Rudyard to Ruskin, we'll be back with many more such reviews. This series is a part of the Azim Premji University podcast, and you can find us on multiple platforms: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, and others. To know more about Azim Premji University, follow the link below.